No, I'm Debbie, and I'm the founder of Icing Images, and we are celebrating our 25th anniversary, and it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I'm going to ask, have you had your mammogram? It's time for me to talk about that now. Very, very important. A lot of our friends, you may not know, have been survivors. For me, it saved my life because it was caught early. It was relatively considering easy journey for me, and that's because of early detection. So please have your mammogram. And yeah, for all you men that are out there, I know we got two, get those prostates checked. So again, same thing, early detection saves.
Absolutely.
So Dr. Susie joined us as a Blue owner. How long have you owned your Blue?
I think it'll be 2 years this April.
Wow.
I know. I think, yeah, I got it in 2023.
Oh, wow. And I was like thinking, oh, like January. Well, not really. So
I went back and looked at my pictures. I think it was April of 2023. Yep.
And you owned a different machine before, correct?
I did. And I'm very happy to be here now.
Well, we're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Let me ask you this, because I'm one that doesn't like to, I like to talk about how our machine is rather than how another machine is or isn't or whatever. So what is your favorite feature about owning a Blue?
I don't just have one. I have lots.
Of course. You're not a simple person.
No, but you can't just have one feature. I mean, first of all, it has black ink. So the ink itself is already above and beyond. It has ink wells, not an ink cartridge. And so the amount of prints that you get with your ink, stupendous. And the color accuracy, I did post a color comparison. If people ever want to go to Icing Images or Blue page on Facebook, I did post a picture of the difference in ink color vibrancy. So people can check that out there and really see the difference. But I mean, the large bed, the fact you can print multiple images at one time. I'm going to print today a puzzle that's 8.5 inches wide by 8.5 inches at square. And I couldn't do that if I didn't have my Blue printer. So many things that are incredible about this machine. So
awesome. Yeah. And I do want to make note, there's some rumors out there that FDA has no approved black ink. I need to make sure that you guys understand what FDA approval means with food. So listen to my whole thing that I say, okay? Yellow edible ink, magenta edible ink, cyan edible ink, black edible ink, your edible icing sheets, your royal icing mix, none of those are FDA approved. But, and this is what the difference is, all the ingredients are. If the FDA had to approve every single thing that we put in our mouth, our taxes would go up even beyond what they are, because they have to run the FDA, because every day new things are invented. So they approve the ingredients to make the products. And so with that, while there is no FDA approved edible ink, period, the black ink is made just like the cyan, just like the magenta and the yellow, the same way to create that edible ink. So I just needed to put that out there as for some clarification, because I've been asked about that. And Rahiba, I know you love the Blue. She was at CookieCon and just was like drooling.
I know, it's awesome.
All right, I need to be quiet because we got a lot to cover today.
We do. We have a lot to cover. Color. We're going to talk about color. Lots and lots of color.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to jump off. Fred's going to take really good care of you. We now call her Fred because there are two Susies at CookieCon. She said she'd take another name, so we named her Fred. We dubbed the Fred.
Yes.
So enjoy,
Dr.
Fred.
Deb. Deb has to call me Dr. Fred, though.
Dr. Fred.
That's right. So today I'm going to be sharing with you a really cool technique. It's not a new technique, but it's something that's new to edible printing. Basically, today I'm going to show you using Photoshop how to take an image and create it into what is called an anaglyph image. An anaglyph image is really composed of taking layers of an image, turning one layer into cyan, another layer into red, and then offsetting those in such a way that your eye is tricked into seeing it as a 3D or popping off a cookie as 3D. So you actually do need to see these images if you don't have them, but you do need 3D glasses to see these images. You can get 3D glasses on Amazon for a pack of 50 for like $9. They're not expensive at all. So today I'm going to show you how to make an anaglyph image using Photoshop. I'm going to print an anaglyph puzzle for you to see on the big blue so you can see how the blue works. And then I'm also going to share, how do you package these things? What are these things good for? How could you sell these images and make some money off of this? So I do have on my website, though, which we'll share later, I have some free goodies for you. I always give away free goodies when I do my lives. So today you're going to get some bag toppers. You're going to get 2 anaglyph images, and then you're also going to get the step-by-step directions for Photoshop. So let's go ahead and turn it over, if you can, Lori, into my Photoshop screen, if that's okay. Perfect. All right, I have Photoshop open. I like to use and make anaglyph images in Photoshop because for me, it is a high quality photo editing program that allows me to work with layers. I've also created a tutorial on how to create anaglyph images in Canva as well as Procreate, and you can find those on my website by going to my cookie cutter shop. So we're actually going to start with this guy today. This is the Halloween guy, I like to call him. And we're going to work with the Halloween guy, and I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to make this guy 3D. And then we're going to print him on an 8.5 by 8.5 puzzle. And the puzzle idea came from the amazing Stacy Barr. He and I were chit-chatting about images and things at CookieCon, and he and I thought about turning anaglyph images into puzzles. And so this is an ode to you, Stacy. So, all right, let's look at the Halloween guy. So whenever we start with an anaglyph image, we want to make sure that we make layers, identical layers to work with. So you can see down here where my scroll is, I have a background layer. So I'm actually going to go down to this plus sign right here, and I'm going to duplicate that layer twice. So now I have 2 layers. I'm actually going to now, with a right click, I'm going to rename this layer cyan. And then I'm going to go to the one right underneath it, and I'm going to rename this layer red. So you can see here I have 3 layers, cyan, red, and then my original background layer. And I want these 3 layers because I want to tint them, and then I'm going to offset them, and it's going to create that 3D effect. So first I'm going to click on my red channel. Oops, I think my layers got out of order. Hold on, I think I deleted one by accident. Sorry, that happens. There's my red layer back. All right, I'm going to start with my red layer, and I'm going to make this layer red. That's why I named it red. So I'm actually going to go up here to Image. I'm going to go to Adjustments, and then I'm going to go to Levels. And it opens up this great Levels panel for me. And I'm actually going to select, and it shows you the RGB channels. I'm going to start the green one first. And I'm going to select this 255 and make it 0. And then I'm going to do the same thing. And you can see down here that the red channel is now pink. So I'm getting close. So I've done the same thing with blue. I'm going to make it 0. And I'm going to click OK. And if you look down here, if I were to isolate that and turn off the cyan channel, you can see that red layer is actually red. So I've isolated those colors so that red layer is now red. And I'm going to do the same thing with the cyan channel. So I'm going to click on that layer, excuse me. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, the screen, and then I'm going to go to Levels. And the screen, is the screen doing what I'm saying? Dawn, can you see it now? On this one, I'm going to do the red, and I'm going to click red to 0. Huh. It says it's not showing what I'm doing. Okay, but that's okay. Can you see what's happening in there? It's not showing what's happening on the screen.
I think it is.
Well, it's showing the output is what I think is happening.
Okay.
Well, Dawn, I'm talking you through it. So just so you know, I do have a free tutorial on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to give you a PDF handout of how to do this step by step. And so when that happens, you should be able to walk through this live as well as my tutorial to recreate it. Uh-huh. I'm probably sharing my window, so let me stop that. And let's go ahead. All right, I'm going to share. So, all right, can you see that better? Can you see my mouse now? Ask them if they can see my mouse.
We're coming, guys. There we go.
Can you see my mouse?
So
you can see me now? All right, we're going to start over. How's that? Let me see. All right. All right. Can everyone see my original image now?
I see it.
Okay, and can you see my mouse? Am I getting yeses for seeing my mouse?
Hold on, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I'm trying to make sure you can hear me, and I'm moving screens around. Everybody is saying yes.
Okay, so you can see my mouse.
I can't see the mouse, but everything's small for me because of the laptop I'm using.
All
so
right.
You guys can see the
We're all saying yes. All right, so let's start over. Let's try this again. So everyone can see me. You should be able to see my mouse now. So I've got my Halloween guy, and I'm going to start over here. Can everyone see? And Deb, I'm going to need you to look at comments. Can everyone see me duplicating with the plus sign these two layers? You can see it?
Yes. And what I did, guys, is I enlarged my screen because we are live on Instagram as well as Facebook now. The screen's going to be a little different than what we did. So I just enlarged everything.
Perfect. All right. So I'm working with these two layers down here. I'm going to rename by right clicking on this one. I'm going to rename this layer red. I'm going to rename this layer cyan. All right. So the first thing I want to do is I want to change these two layers to reflect the name that they're saying. So I'm going to click on the red layer. Hopefully you can see my mouse. I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, Levels. And hopefully you now see this menu, which is your Levels menu. So when you get to your Levels menu, you can click on the green channel. I'm going to change 255 to 0. And you can see it's starting to change down here. That layer is now pink. And then I'm going to go to the blue channel, and I'm going to click that down to 0. And you should see now that my red channel
we don't see the levels menu, but I think we can trust that that's what you did because you can watch the result.
Okay.
And you're going to get a free tutorial that's going to walk you through it as well. So
yeah. Sorry about that. I don't know why it's not working. Same thing. We're going to go back up to Image, Adjustments, Levels. And this time I'm going to change the red channel to 0. And it changes that to cyan. Okay, and you can see down below, if you can't see it, you can see below that the cyan channel is now cyan. So what I'm going to do next is I actually need to change this cyan channel into basically a screen. And how I do that is I right click on the cyan channel and I open up the menu that's called blending options. And when I open up the blending options, I do get a blend mode channel, which for some reason you guys probably can't see. Don't know why. And I hit screen for that. And you notice by doing this, it looks like my background layer is showing again. Once I have my 2 layers the way they need to be, I'm going to click on my red channel and I'm going to make sure that my move tool is selected up here. And I'm going to do 10 clicks to the left. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can see it starting to take effects. Then I'm going to click on the cyan channel and I'm going to click 10 clicks to the right.
So in theory, what she's doing is besides messing with my eyeballs right now, she created 3 of the same image. One is more of a cyan, one is more of a magenta, and then the original will sit in the middle. And that's how it separates between the different screens on your glasses when you're wearing those 3D cyan and magenta glasses.
And at this point, when you're working with this image, at this point, this is when you want to take out your 3D glasses and you kind of look through the image through your 3D glasses. And when you look through it, you might have to move the cyan layer back a little bit or out a little bit more. So you're really working with the offsetting of those 2 layers. And so by working with the offsetting of the 2 layers, you can really create that 3D effect. And then basically when you have it the way you want, you basically just flatten your image by saying save flatten image. And so then it kind of formulates that 3D image. And I'm sorry that didn't work as well. I don't know why. So, but let's go back, Lori, come on back to my screen so people can see me.
Yeah, Stacy says it's jumping off the screen at him. He's wearing his 3D glasses.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad that worked. Good. So I will include in your free, you can see it here, I will include in your free folder, if you go to my website, every single step I just did, I wrote down for you, and it'll show you step by step what to do. So don't worry if you weren't able to see it on the screen. I'm sorry, I don't know why it didn't do that when I was sharing my screen. I must have shared it wrong. But in addition, on my YouTube channel, I actually have that exact tutorial that I just did with a different image, step by step in that tutorial. So you can, and it's a free Anaglyph tutorial that you can see. So I'm going to switch this over now, though. I want to print this image, if you don't mind. So let's move to my printer, if that's okay. All right. So what you see here is my blue printer. And what I've done with my blue is I've actually created a puzzle. I'm going to move this back just a little bit so you can see it. Hopefully. There you go. A little bit better. Maybe. There we go. So I'm going to print the image that we just made. There you go. I'm going to print the image that we just made on the blue. One of the reasons why I'm showing you this puzzle print is I really want to highlight that you can print on big stuff on the blue. You can print on some really cool big stuff. So I've gone ahead and I've loaded it. I've actually leveled my printer, so I made sure that the print head was at the right height. And I'm going to go ahead and print, and I'll answer some questions while we print, because I see that there's some questions. So Linda asks, where are you finding the best images for the original image? I do a variety of things. I actually make my own images using AI. I also, this image I actually got off of Creative Fabrica, because I wanted to use an image from Creative Fabrica so people could see that you can actually use images from anywhere. So Creative Fabrica is a wonderful site. I think Heather did a tutorial on Creative Fabrica.
Yeah, she did a few weeks back, and you can find it on our Icing Images Facebook page.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful site for images if you don't want to create your own images. And but I do create a lot of my images, especially in my shop. I use a couple of AI image creation programs, and I do some work with ChatGPT to create prompts, and that's kind of what I do to do my images. And the Adobe tutorial is free in my free folder on my website. So you can see it's already starting to print. One of the things that I notice with my printer is, and people need to understand, people always ask, what's your saturation? What did you adjust it to? And I think something people need to understand is everybody's printer is their own ecosystem. So you actually have to kind of run some test prints, and you have to find the levels of saturation that actually work for your own printer. So it's important that you find out what those levels are just for your printer.
And also, one thing to consider too is that we have people with 2 printer heads and 1 printer head, and they will act totally different.
Yeah. So I think when we're, one of the things that I love about our Blue community is we're always helping one another. I mean, it's absolutely amazing how much we help one another. And so I learned a lot just when I was at CookieCon by picking everyone's brain on really how to get to know my own machine. And then I came home and ran some test prints, and I was kind of able to fine tune mine in order to get better prints. Oh, thanks, Becky. She printed some of my images for a fundraiser last week. Yay. Becky actually helped me create a new type of image, and that's a paint by dots image. So instead of using a paint palette, you actually just have an image with different colored dots on it. And all you need is a paintbrush and water. And you can actually paint paint the image with just by coloring in the dots. And so instead of paint by numbers, it's paint by color dots. So thank you, Becky, for that. Yep, Stacy says you're right. Your saturation does get affected by recipe, humidity, workspace, everything.
So and even your opinion.
Yes, exactly.
There you go.
And you can kind of see he's starting to take shape. It's a pretty cool guy.
This is really cool.
And I found one of the things that Stacy and I were experimenting with is, does the image actually change, or does the effect change when you print it on a puzzle? And no, it's actually pretty spot on. It's actually pretty cool. I like paint by spots, Becky. I thought that was a good idea.
When are you debuting all of that?
So I do have a couple of paint by dots images on my Cutter Shop Now. I have Anaglyph images on my Cutter Shop Now, and the link is on my website. And then I actually included a free Halloween paint by dots image for everyone. It's in my free hub on my website. So I try to add free stuff every month to my free hub of things to give to people. So I like to give stuff back. So I always find an image or two or an STL file that I've created, and I put it in my free hub on my website. So there's a cute pumpkin with a cat, paint by dots for free on my website. So he's printing pretty quickly. That's the other thing I love about my Blue is it doesn't take too long to print large images. So he's about halfway done right now. He looks pretty ominous.
I just threw up the link for your website too.
Oh, good. Okay. Yep. I'm also going to go over some packaging ideas as soon as we finish this, because I think people are always wondering, what can I use this for? So I've had a lot of people say, well, what can I do Anaglyph images for? So imagine a birthday party. You could give it away as party favors. You could actually, with this technique, use photographs. You can actually make a photograph 3D of someone. I have printed a 3D image on a cake for a birthday boy to blow out his candles. And he wore his glasses, and he had it on a cake, which was pretty cool. It'll print on smart sheets, icing sheets, pretty much on everything. Stacy was using it on smart sheets and cutting it out with a Cricut at CookieCon, showing people that you could use it in a variety of ways. So if you don't have a blue and you have a Canon edible printer, you can print it on icing sheets and cut out those images as well. So I printed on marshmallows, print on a lot of different things, which is pretty cool. You could do it.
This was wild at this show when everybody started putting in the glasses and their expressions were hilarious.
Yeah, I know. Well, I created another one, which I'm going to share today. I actually created it, and I gave this to you as a free image in the live folder today, but I created a background. It was a bunch of ghosts, and I made the ghosts 3D, and then I actually printed on it, and then with a metallic edible marker, I wrote Happy Halloween. And when you look at the image with 3D glasses, the Happy Halloween actually pops off the cookie as if it's sitting on a cellophane sheet. So, you can really try some pretty creative techniques and different things. And I would love, love, love to see what people create with this, because I think you can get really, really creative. I want to try to use some of lace, Dawn's lace, Supreme lace. I want to actually see if I print out this ghost and add a Supreme lace spider web, if the spider web actually pops out 3D. So I'm going to work on that this weekend and see if I can create something with that. So I'm thinking you can do some pretty cool stuff with it.
Now, where on your website is the live folder?
So it should go all the way down to the bottom, and you should see an icon that says Free Hub. It's polka dots and red letters that say Free Hub all the way down at the bottom. And if you click on that, it should take you to a Google Drive with all my free images.
Hold on, let me go back to your homepage.
Okay.
Is it on your cookie art or on your?
It's on Dr. Susie Sweets all the way very at the end. So
okay, got it.
If you want to, I can share my screen again, and I have it up on my screen if people want to see it. So he's pretty close to being done. So I'm actually going to show you, hopefully, I won't make you motion sickness, but I'm actually going to take this and show you how he looks. It turned out pretty awesome. So we can go back to me if you want, Lori, which would be good. All right. So questions right now about process, about what you can use 3D images for, questions about what types of images you can use with Anaglyph images.
I'm not seeing any questions.
Wow, it means I'm a good teacher.
You are the best. Fred knows how to teach.
Well, let me show
Dr.
people
Fred.
then. Why don't we, Dr. Fred. Why don't we show people then some of the packaging ideas that I have. So maybe, Lori, if you go back to my camera. Maybe. There we go. So this is kind of how I package different packages. This is something I'm actually going to use with trick-or-treaters at my house. I'm going to be super popular this year. I'm going to be handing out these Anaglyph images to all my trick-or-treaters. And basically what I did here was I just put the image in a cellophane bag all by itself. And then I put it in a larger bag with the 3D glasses with it, so people know, hey, it's supposed to be seen with 3D glasses. And then on this image actually itself is also 3D, so they can look at that themselves and see it 3D. And then on the back, it just kind of shows people, enjoy a treat and a trick, your cookie comes alive, grab your 3D glasses, for a sweet surprise. So I actually included this bag tag for you in all sorts of different sizes. But this is a great way to, one way anyway, to bag your cookies for Halloween. Another way that you can do, here's another one. This one, I didn't use the bag tag. I just used a ribbon. And again, I just put the cookie in its own little bag separately. I put some 3D glasses right behind it. I gathered it with just one of those tie bows, which are super easy to use and you don't have to worry about it. And this was that image I was talking about. So when you look at this with 3D glasses, this part on top is just a marker. I actually just wrote on the cookie with an edible marker.
Oh, wow.
I know, but because of the 3D component of the image below, it actually pulls that image off. So when you go to look at this tag, hopefully you have some 3D glasses, when you look at this tag, this whole top part will actually stand off your tag, and the tag itself will look 3D. So you can print all of these 3D pictures on edible print paper. This is actually cardstock. I printed the image on cardstock and it worked. But I also included this tag for you, and this ghost image for you is also included on your free. And then another thing you can do, you know me, I'm all about another's. Let's see. This is actually a bunch of little minis. I'm going to make this bigger. So this is just minis. This is another little tag. This is a backer, a cookie backer with the minis. And again, another bag. And then I just, in a separate little same size bag, I included the 3D glasses on the back. And again, it's just talking about an edible treat. So again, you could package a whole bunch of little edible ones if you wanted for pretty much anything. Birthdays, this would be a great birthday favor treat. You could put a couple of different birthday type images, unicorns, whatever the theme of the birthday party is. You can take any image and make it 3D, and you can actually make them with minis. And then I'll show you the last one. This is actually that guy. I'm going to make this a little higher so you can see it a little better.
And so, you tried these on marshmallows, right? I heard you say that.
Yeah, I've done it on marshmallows as well. Yeah. So I actually did it on marshmallows, included graham crackers and a chocolate bar, and you just make a little s'mores kit. You can see in my tutorial on my YouTube page, you'll actually see some images and some pictures of different things that I printed on the 3D images for this. And you're getting some glare on this, so let me close my window real quick. The glare goes away. And you can see, basically for here, I just put them in a large bag. I put a cookie tag that explains what to do, as well as a pair of 3D glasses on top. Add a cute ribbon, and you can put that cookie puzzle in there or multiples. It's endless. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do with all of this.
So Julie, the 3D images, she wanted to know where you get them to print, and you basically find images just like you would any other images for the most part, Creative Fabrica, various different sources. And then the beginning of the tutorial today, she showed how to create the image, the 3D part out of the image. And we just put up the link, so there's more tutorials available. She showed in Adobe today, Adobe Photoshop, and she also has that tutorial for free on her site. But you did it in some other programs, didn't you?
Yes. So I did it in Canva. So I have a Canva tutorial. And then I also have a Procreate tutorial. So my two favorite, though, are Photoshop and Procreate, because those are true kind of photo editing programs. So the effect of that is much better. Here, I'll bring this back down. Are much better when you use it in Photoshop or Procreate. And it's really not hard to do. Like I said, it's just creating that offset and using your glasses to kind of fine tune that offset. I also created a Photoshop action. Excuse me. And what that means is we can go ahead and come back to me, Lori, if you want. I'm going to exit off of this. So I'm going to exit. So you don't need my camera anymore. There we go. I also created a Procreate action. I don't know if you can see this, but if we go back to my computer screen real quick, and hopefully, I don't know if you can see on my computer screen. All right, let me go back to Photoshop. I don't know if you can see this new image. Can you see this new image?
Oh, yeah, it's adorable.
Thank you. So this is an image I created in AI using Microsoft Copilot. And I may even do a session one time on how to work with ChatGPT to create prompts to work in AI programs to create your own images. But basically, when you look at the screen, you'll see next to the color panel, there's a play button, which is called Actions. I don't know if you can see it, but the word Actions comes up when I click on it. But I don't know if you can see the Actions menu. Yes, you can. Good. So I've already pre-installed my action, but I'm going to check my image size right now. It works better if your image resolution is less than 300. So it works best with that. So my image resolution is actually less than 300. But if I click the actions panel and I actually click on my Photoshop action that you can purchase on my site, and then I go down here and I hit play, bing, it creates the 3D image for you. So you don't have to go through all those steps. It does it for you. Your cyan and red channels are already set up for you where you can just fine tune them or adjust them. So if you're not into want things done automatically for you, then your Photoshop action is a really great way to go because it creates images for you. All right, back to me. Questions about that?
Back to you.
Back to me.
Back to you, Fred.
Yes. So
we have some comments on, or some questions on Instagram, which I'm trying to get over to. It just couldn't turn my volume down on it for whatever reason. So I couldn't come up and see it. So give me just 1 second. I'll try to get over to there again. And while I do that, chat away.
All right. So they're saying they can't click on the links, but I did put my website up there. My website is www.drsusiesweets.com. And if you go to my website, you can see at the top of my website, it talks about, you can click on a link to get to my cookie cutter shop. You can look, I do custom cookies and cookie classes. You can join my mailing list, and I send out a newsletter at the beginning of every month. And then the big get free stuff freebies hub, if you click there, then you get all sorts of free stuff. It takes you to a Google Drive, and in that Google Drive are all sorts of free things for you to download and to use. I would love it if you tag me on Instagram or follow me on Instagram and share what you're creating. I love to see what people are creating. It makes my heart happy. And so I love to empower you to make things and make them better than me. So hopefully with this free tutorial, you've kind of learned it's really not hard to create a 3D image. The possibilities are endless. And I just started learning this. How this all came about is my two children, my daughter and her husband, actually work for Marvel Studios, and they were recently working on a film. And my son-in-law works for the stereo team, and his team makes movies into 3D. And he asked me to make some cookies for the film that they wrapped for the stereo team. And so I said, sure. And so in order to be cool, I thought, wouldn't it be cool to make a 3D image for the 3D image team? And so I did. I'll show you. These were actually the ones that I made for them. So these were the first images that started it all. They were the ones that got me into this. And then I shared the idea with Deb, and Deb's like, oh, this is really cool. And then I had to learn how to do it in Procreate, and I had to learn how to do it in Canva and learn how to do it in Photoshop. So if I can learn it, you guys can learn it for sure. Anything? Dr. Fred. Thanks, Becky. Yeah, I bet you can be done on candy. Sydney, she actually from Simi Icing, she actually printed on lollipops. She actually printed the image on lollipops for me, and we had a few of those at CookieCon. So you can print them on Icing. So it does work, which is pretty cool. I'm going to have to grow in that area. And yes, ChatGPT and Copilot would be fun. I think I'll work on that. Other questions? This went faster than I thought. Normally we're full of time, but today went faster. I talked fast. Questions about blue. Does anybody not have a blue that has questions about how I use my blue printer? Yes, they did come out great on Icing, Sydney. Thank you. I appreciate it. Uh, I think the biggest thing is you can use it pretty much for anything. You can create a 3D image and print it as a background image and then put other things on top of it. I am working with Becky from 2Bs to create some 3D transfers, Royal Icing transfers. I think you could do it there as well. I think that, like I said, you can print on so many different mediums. Imagine a 3D cake on printing on buttercream on top of a cake, or even on an icing sheet, or even 3D images around a cake on icing sheets. The nice thing about this is you don't need to turn off the lights and have a black light to see it. You just have to go on Amazon and order a very cheap pair of 3D glasses, and you can just use it in any setting. I think it's very versatile. I think if you start selling these cookies as part of your business, it'll be something that people haven't seen before. So you will be very, very, very unique in your market. And then it's really easy. Someone's asking where you get the 3D glasses. I got the 3D glasses on Amazon. I just typed in 3D white paper glasses and up came the prompt, and there's tons of different numbers and options, but they're not too expensive. Like I said, I think I got 50 of them for $9.99. So it was.
And you can actually get 100 for less.
Yes. Well, yes, I didn't have a need for 100, but if I have a need for, but I may on Halloween, so I may need to look for a larger quantity on Halloween.
It's gonna change.
Yeah. So, and like I said, you can take any image. It's not just with graphics that you get off of Creative Fabrica. So you can actually use a photograph. The best thing to remember is you really need to get things that are pretty clear and have what would appear, you can see, would have layers to them, so that when you do transfer it into a 3D image, that you're going to get that depth. So you want something, a picture with some depth in it, and you can see, hey, you know, this is going to stack in front of the other ones.
Okay,
So
we do have some more questions. They're coming off of Instagram. So yes, you guys can print on icing sheets or the smart sheets. You can print on Isomalt or directly on the product if you have a blue food printer. They want to know what kinds of images do you use. I'm assuming maybe is it a JPEG or PNG? Maybe they're asking.
You can use either one. It'll work on a JPEG or PNG. I use JPEG because that's what I can import into the Blue. So I work off of JPEGs, but you could do it with any of them. I try to have a background with it, though, so that there's some depth. So it'll create some depth.
And then a question is, can you sell the image if you make them?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're making them.
You buy them, you can sell them. All I ask is if you buy one of my images, don't resell them as your own images, but any image that you buy from me, you can print and sell and do whatever you want with. Have fun. Go create.
What she means by that is you can use them on your cookies or cake, but just don't sell the image as a file by yourself, because that wouldn't be fair to Dr. Susie to give it to you free and you would profit off of it. So she's doing that.
Just don't resell the image, but sell your cookies. And I
sell the cookies, definitely, but not the image by themselves.
I am cheap in my area, but I think a package like this, you could probably, I would sell probably a package like this, probably $4 to $5 per cookie. You're cheap.
You're cheap.
I'm cheap. Other people would charge $6 to $7 for this. So
no, they charge more. The thing that you don't understand that you're missing, I think, is the fact that this is something unique. It's not just about the cookie, and because of that, you get to charge for the innovation aspect of it. So, like Becky, what would you charge? Let's hear what people say, because if that was a plain cookie, $5, but that's not a plain cookie. That's a cookie with effects on it.
Someone's saying 10 to 12. All right, go for it. Sell them.
Yep. You're cheap, girlfriend.
I know, but
I know. She's very generous. She's a very kind person. I was thinking 10 to 15, but we got anybody from $7 to $12 so far.
7 to 12.
Yeah. Yep. So as party favors, you're selling more than one at a time too. So you may be able to do kind of a group where you sell 10 for whatever price.
When these would be great at pop-ups, So if you're doing a
Oh, yeah.
pop-up, these would be really great because people are going to see it as a high quality cookie, not just I know some people say printed cookie, but this is very unique. So at a pop-up, I think it would be something that people would really want to have and go for. So definitely a good thing for a pop-up as well.
And definitely, guys, somebody asked on Instagram, can you make the images using your technique and sell the images? Then they're your own. She just doesn't want you selling the things she's giving to you for free as the image only. That's all.
No, go for it. Yeah, if you want, the reason I am teaching you this technique is so that you can go and create your own images, so that you have your own images to sell, you have your own images to work with. I'm very much about, yes, I have, and I know how to do this, but I want to teach other people how to do it themselves so that they also can grow their business, grow their skill set. So yeah, if you want to go create your own images, use this tutorial, create your own images, get out there and sell them, and just share what you create. Tag me and say, thanks, Dr. Susie, for teaching me this. And that fills my bucket and makes me happy.
She likes to teach.
I do. I'm not a teacher. I'm in HR now at my district office. So I do HR for a school district. I used to be a teacher and an elementary school principal. So I do love to teach and empower others and give other people the skill sets to teach themselves. And so you can do all of that. Enjoy it.
Yeah. But if you ever cross her, she's going to put you in the corner.
I'm mean HR, you know.
Yeah. Jessie Ann Riley says she would actually get more than that. She'd get $15.95, and she's not even doing the printing.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking 10 to 15, depending on the area, easily. Easily. Don't short sell yourself. This is very unique. This is technically, we haven't seen it out there. So you're doing something. It's like being at the beginning of Cocoa Bombs. Remember when Cocoa Bombs started?
Oh, yeah.
You're at the beginning of that trend.
Yep. And so now everybody knows it. So do it. Make them. And if you have questions, just you can message me on Facebook. You can message me on Instagram. You can email me at drsusie@drsusiesweets. I will answer your questions. I want you to be successful. I want you to create great things. So I'm happy to support you and help you. Like I said, this is just new for me as well. I'm learning alongside you. And so if you find something that isn't working for you, we can brainstorm it together. So
Exactly. And I think, for me too, I like finding ways people can grow their business.
Yep.
So that's where my, I guess, what do you call it? The love language. So your love language is teaching people, and my language is how do you get your business to grow.
Well, and this is a great opportunity to do that because you will put something out there very unique that your customers haven't seen before, and you'll get a lot of business, I think, from this. And taking time to create the images and doing that is most of your time, and printing, of course, but it's a good way to maximize the use of your blue printer or your little blue printer in order to make your business grow. And it's a good opportunity for you. So use away, learn, and use away.
Exactly. 100%. And let's see. Yes. Becky was thinking like closer to no less than 10, 100%, no less than 10. And then, okay, so you so again, this is where I get excited. You pop-up stand people, like Sharita. I know Sharita's watching. You do them in the cookies. Maybe you do one on a mini cake or on a brownie, but you can also do them on some lollipops too. And again, think of this as the beginning of the Cocoa Bombs. You're the first to have this. So go out there and spread it around and enjoy this knowledge that you've received from Dr. Susie to really make yourself stand apart from anybody else. So.
Yeah. And someone was asking, can this be done on the free version of Canva? I believe so. It can't?
I don't think so.
I have the educator's version. So I want to tell you though, Procreate, don't be afraid by Procreate. Procreate is a $9.99 app to use on your iPad. You pay it one time, life use forever.
Yes.
And my tutorial will make it super, super easy.
It's easier in Procreate. It's
It
very
really
easy in Procreate.
It is. And for $9.99 and then $9.99 for my tutorial, under $20, you're going to be able to have a huge tool in order to create your images. So Procreate's a great program for your iPad. I believe it's only like $9.99. Susan Trianos is a master at Procreate. She could teach you a class on
And she did
live.
a live recently.
Yep, she did. And so, but it's a really easy to do it in Procreate. And I would suggest that. Canva, I love Canva, but at the same time, the effect on Canva is not as strong. It's just not as good. But I did create a tutorial because I do know that people use Canva. I prefer Photoshop. I haven't tried it on Affinity yet, but once I figure it out on Affinity, I know that that's something through Canva that people can have access to. I'll create something on Affinity. Or if you have another program that you use, you want me to try it out and create a tutorial, I can do that too.
Yeah, and so couple things. First of all, Linda Rack, I don't know how a program scares you. It will never bite you, and you can never screw it up, so just dive in. Hillary, I know you're like me, a Windows-based, Android-based. I was going to say you can use your iPhone. It's an Apple product, but you use Android.
Well, that's why I'll try Affinity. I'll try Affinity and see, because I think Affinity's, I just downloaded it, so I can try it on Affinity.
Yeah, and it's, I'll tell you, all these programs are very, very similar. Even when you look at Canva to Procreate, it's very similar. So don't be too afraid. And also, I know when we were at CookieCon, the Adobe was there, and they have an Adobe Express that's supposed to be, and I have not delved into it yet, supposed to be competing with Canva. And they're coming down pretty hard because my guess is that Canva took a bunch of their business. So if you're using Windows, that may be something that we can look into as well as an option.
Yeah, see, I think I do have a 3D snowman with kids in the background on a cookie image if you go look at my shop. Because I agree with you. That would be an amazing image.
Yep, exactly. This has been awesome.
That creates depth. That's the biggest thing, is don't do something on an isolated, gingerbread man running through a forest. I have a couple images with turkey sitting at a table with all of his friends surrounding him. You just have to kind of think what you were looking for, and you can create it or you can look for it, but you want to look for images that are going to give you some of that depth. That's why I picked that Halloween man, as I'm calling him, because I can't call him anything else. That's why I'm calling, because he had the depth of the house in the background, the pumpkins in the front, and then his suit. So it naturally is going to lend itself when you apply the offset of the layers.
And if you really don't want to try any of those programs and they truly scare you, just go to Dr. Susie's site and buy them. She is very creative, and I bet you, if you messaged her and said, I really want an image like this, she'd make it and throw it up on her shop as well for you.
Oh, I'll create anything anybody wants. I've made custom images for a lot of different people, and I plan on continuing as the holidays come up. My next group I'm going to work on is some New Year's Eve anaglyphs, obviously as seasons and Valentine's Day. So I'll try and match up with the holidays. So no matter what, if you don't want to learn it yourself, I will always prepare you with some anaglyph images for the holidays for you to use.
Crystal, go ahead. What? Oh, you're reading what I was reading. Go ahead.
Human head on the planner. That's the dark HR side right there, Crystal. You'd be good in HR.
Julie, go ahead. You're reading them, so I don't need to read them to you now.
I'm reading. Yeah, sorry. What do you mean treated? Can we get that Dropbox link again? Oh, you don't need it. If we post a Dropbox link or a folder link, sometimes it bans us on Facebook. So if you go to my website, in fact, Lori, do you want to go to my share screen again? Let me see if I can share my window again. I'm going to go to share screen, and I'm going to go to window, and it won't let me. Here we go. I'm just going to share my entire screen. Can you see my website?
Yeah, you certainly can.
All right. So if you go to my website, drsusiesweets.com, here is the link to my cutter shop right here. Here is a link to become part of my mailing list. But right here, get free stuff here. So if you click on this link, it'll actually take you to the Google Drive, and all your free images are here. Here are the past lives that I did, as well as this folder with free images. So if you open up today's, you can see there's the treat bag toppers, a whole set for you, images that I used today in the live, as well as that PDF tutorial. So all of that is right there on my website. That's all you have to do is go visit that. And it's all available to you. So super easy to get the link. So just my website, go to the free hub, and I'm always updating stuff for you guys there free all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. She's pretty, Fred is amazing. Very amazing. Dr. Fred. I'm so sorry. I keep doing
right. So Photoshop, Julie's asking, Photoshop and Procreate will give you a similar effect. Both of them have the ability, because both of them have the ability to create a screen from that top cyan image. So if you don't want to pay for Photoshop, which is a subscription and more expensive, I would go the Procreate route because it's a one-time fee. You have it, it's yours, it's super easy, and you can use it on Procreate. And the effect is really the same. Good question, Julie.
And again, she will make those images for you. So this has been amazing, very fulfilling. I'm excited for everyone because I think you can drum up a ton of different business because of the opportunity she's giving you here right before the holidays. You can blast it out there and be at the beginning of something awesome.
Can you imagine elf on a shelf? Come on, you can create some elf on a shelf images with little mini 3D glasses for the elf. Oh my gosh, you guys can have some fun with this.
Julie, it's not hard to learn. Just sit down one evening and it'll take you, you'll get it. If you do any of the other programs, you'll get Procreate. So, or O-Create as you call it.
And Dawn, I'm going to work on this image. I'm going to take this background and I'm going to try doing a Supreme lace web on top and see if it makes the lace web shoot off the thing. I'm going to try.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, she just never stops. So,
sorry. Julie's laughing.
Yeah, never stops, ever. So next week we have Lori Gokin on with us, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We've been having some amazing lives go on here. But I just love watching everybody learn and create their own version of everything that we share here. Obviously, definitely share it with Dr. Susie. And also share it on our group faces, the Icing Images Everything group, as well as the Blue Printer official group as well, for those of you who do it on your Blue Printer. Because this is going to be fun to watch it spread. It's going to be like a virus, but a good one.
I just want people to learn how to do this and saturate and have fun with images. Just create them, reach out to me. I'm happy to help you. But this is a great way to make your business unique. And I would love to see you make your business unique. That would be cool.
Definitely. Awesome. Well, thank you, my dear. I just adore you. We met the first time at CookieCon, and I hate to say it for those of you who know me, she's like the doctor version of me. It's scary. It is scary, really scary. So, but she's more generous and kind than I am.
No, that's not true. That's not true. You haven't seen my HR side. Come on, it's there.
Julie, when am I going to introduce the new blue? Not yet. Not yet. So if you were at CookieCon, you saw a new countertop version of Little Blue, but it's not in stock yet, so you're okay. But we just haven't gotten there to actually really introduce it, but we will, I promise, Julie. And if it's something you're interested in, just let me know and I can talk to you privately about it, but we just haven't put it out there because they're not in stock. They're on their way. So anyway, awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for joining.